us open on something that is a little unnerving. There is a picture Deku doesn't want to see. One of the people he loves is on life supports. He can hear the roar of the machines and nothing else, as he just has his hands folded over the bed. They're wrapped and covered in wounds. But, well, they're not from a battle. Now, exactly what led him here? This is something that doesn't really seem possible to him, until his thought would break. And some person from the medical team would tell Deku that he needs to leave. Visiting hours are over, as Deku, he would stand up and walk out of the hospital, returning home. Now then. Hello everybody, this is Kirusho here. Whenever we last left off, Deku, he had just saw Ultra One, and has started having his own nightmares. Now, Deku, he would continue this training, as he tries to get more and more intense. And while that's going on, at night he gets plagued by his own nightmares, seeing what All Might has seen, as things aren't really happier going forward for him. He can't find solace in his own sleep, and when he tries to stay awake, he hears something. He hears whispers and tapping. He's tried telling his mom about this, but, well, she's checked. There's never anyone there. Whatever it is, it's just part of Deku's imagination. So, Deku's been fearing and weary, as his sleep has been getting to him. He's no longer smiling. It's been like this for a full 2 months. Now, while that's happening, Deku, he is having trouble. He's been trying to work on his quirk and he's gotten it up to ×8. But that's just it. He's trying to think about using One for All, but his mom would still be reluctant to let him do so. However, this night is very different. Deku, he's thinking that this will be a good time to use it. And he would finally do one thing, as whenever he hears the tapping, he builds up the courage. He jumps up and immediately throws open his blinds, looking to see that he's staring directly back at the man he's seen so many times before. Except this time he doesn't just disappear. The man is standing outside the window as Deku's staring at him, not even sure what to say. As Deku, he slowly backs away from his bed and he just keeps eye contact. If he breaks it, this man will disappear. He knows that. So what is he going to do? As Deku watches the man bring his hand up. And, well, starts tapping on the glass until the tapping gets louder and it finally breaks through. As soon as that happens, there would be a large spike out of the man's finger, and it would burst straight through and stab Deku in the chest, as he wakes up in a cold sweat, clutching his heart. Now, Deku, he hears that his mom has just woken up, and she would run into his room and see if he's okay. To which he would just try and explain he'll be fine. But she just tells him that no, he's not going to be fine. He needs to be taking his sleeping pills. Otherwise, this will keep happening. To which Deku would just explain to her. He's been taking them, but this just won't stop. Why won't it stop? Now, Deku, while that's happening, he thinks that this is different. that felt more real, more lucid. Something happened as he would look towards his window. He would open the blinds, and there's no one there. But there's a black dot on the ground. What exactly is that? As he would turn his eyes skyward, seeing something floating up there. It's just there, not moving, and that's what creeps Deku out. It's covered in enough darkness to cover its face and its, well, body, but he can't tell if that's a hero, a pro, or his nightmare, the thing he's so afraid of. Now, this thing would immediately turn as Deku can somewhat make out something in the moonlight. He makes out a piece of a shirt. White. That's it. Before this thing would fly away into the distance. Now, after that happens, Deku, he would try talking to his mom about it during breakfast, as he didn't train this morning. He didn't go out for his run because he needed to sleep. And Inko's somewhat seems a bit unhinged herself, since, well, she's been doing this, trying to help Deku and do hero work. It's a bit too much for one person to handle at once. Now, Deku would ask his mom, what's going to be happening today? What are they going to be doing for training? To which she would tell Deku that they're probably just going to take the day off. You just need to sleep, since it has kind of been getting to you. Now, Deku would go to school. As that happens, he would leave and see on the news that people keep talking about All Might and Endeavor. All Might's hero score has somewhat been plummeting, while Endeavor's has been rising and rising. These two being very close in range, nearly tied. If Endeavor keeps this up, he will slowly but surely overtake All Might. So, what are we going to do for the number one hero? Is he becoming irrelevant? Now, Deku's at lunch, and he's just sitting there, thinking that this is bad. What's he going to do? It just keeps getting worse and worse. As he would pull out a notebook and start writing things down. Thinking, the man in the mask, who is he? What is he? Is he a figment of my imagination, real or a nightmare? I can't figure this all out. As he begins to write this down over and over and over again, scribbling a picture in his notebook from his dream. Now, as he's doing that, Todoroki, she would have walked over. A bit confused, saying that he's not smiling. It's weird. Sorry, Todoroki. Kinda busy. Who's that? As Deku would look back, seeing that he's done with the picture, as it's a picture very, very badly scrawled in. The lines aren't even. They don't even seem like he was trying. Frantically scribbling them in and seeing what he can come up with. As it shows a picture of something in the window, outside, a tree, the frame, and his bed. Along with the glass being broken in his picture. Something he didn't even think he drew. As he would just slam his notebook closed, saying that it's nothing. He's just been, well, tired, that's all. As she would look at him a bit skeptical, saying that he doesn't sound tired, he sounds paranoid. Exactly what's been going on with you? Nothing. Besides, I thought you were just keeping your distance. Isn't that what you usually just do? Well, not really. My father's been acting a bit strange. He seems almost excited to be well, more popular than your dad. Hmm? More popular? Well, he's getting better. I don't even want to say these words. He's becoming a better pro, apparently. Yet he's a shitty parent. To which Todoroki would somewhat laugh, or at least smirk at the comment, saying, "Takes one to know one." Now, while that's happening, let us cut over to Inko. She's trying to figure this all out, as she's on the phone with Sir Night-Eye, asking exactly what did he see in her future. To which Night-Eye would just try and say that the last thing he saw was her fighting against a villain. He doesn't know where it goes, so he's guessing that that may change. Now, you must be careful, well, as he was going to say Yagi, as he says Miss Midoriya. Now, she would hang up the phone, as she gets a pot of coffee. And, well, she starts drinking. She is scared for Izuku. She knows exactly what's been going on with these nightmares. She's had one or two a few times. This might be a family curse. Or a villain. It doesn't make sense. Why is a villain attacking us? All for One's dead. Is this one of his lackeys? Back for revenge? A sick joke is all this is. As one thing would happen. The day would pass, and later on into the night, Inko is still awake. She's taking caffeine pills, as she is waiting for Deku to go to bed. Deku would finally get to sleep, as she waits outside in her hero costume, keeping herself in the shadows. Now, that is whenever this floating man, or the man in the mask, he would appear out of nowhere. Inko looking on in horror, as this thing is real. My god. It isn't just a nightmare. Now, as soon as that happens, this is where Inko, she would be ready. As soon as this thing comes down to Deku's window and starts tapping on his glass, she would immediately jump into action, lunging forward and immediately smashing it in the face, as All For One did not expect that. He would immediately turn, using one of the many things he has made for All Might, to smash her across her own face. Now, as soon as that happens, Deku, he would lunge awake, as he would immediately turn, opening his blinds, immediately seeing that this man is fighting Mom. No. As he would watch this thing turn back to him and immediately just wave its finger. No, no, no. As he watches his mom get back up, and the two begin to battle. As these two are actually throwing around as much power as possible. Inko is creating small shockwaves, and so is All For One. Their battle actually stirring and waking the neighborhood, as many pros begin to be on their way. However, All For One would have done something Inko didn't really expect. He uses a quirk. This quirk, it's bad. All For One's hand gets covered in a black goo, as he would immediately lunge it upwards, stabbing into Inko's neck, and she would somewhat begin to scream, as her vision starts distorting. And in her mind, she sees All For One as something she's afraid of. Except whatever All For One's pumping her full of, he's not stopping. He begins to flood her system as he would hold his hand out, bringing it up to her head and taking her quirk, as she falls backwards onto the ground. Deku looking on in horror as he just saw what happened. all for one turning back to Deku and beginning to walk forward. As before he can even continue, All Might would immediately arrive, and he would lunge forward, smashing into All for One, throwing him away. All for One, he would have slid backwards as he would look up, seeing the number one hero. Or, well, number two now. Well, long time no see, old friend. You're alive. No, 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 no. Well, sorry to cut this short, as a portal would open up right in front of All for One, and he would move forward. All Might trying to step into action, but not making it in time. As Deku, he would open his window and check on his mom, as she's basically laying on the ground, spazzing out and trying to gain control of whatever's going on. Now, Deku, he would have called 911, and an ambulance would have arrived, as he would go with Inko to the hospital. And, well, the doctors would just tell him that whatever is going on, it's not good. The chemical in her system seems to have flooded it and or made her comatose, along with inducing something that we're not sure about. But her heart rate is very rapid, and her quirk seems to be gone. It's weird. Our scans usually pick them up. As All Might is listening to this. Now, Deku's still not really sure what's going on, as he's just trying to process this all. All Might, he would grab Deku, as he would pull him aside, saying that they're going back home. But I was with Mom. Listen, Midoriya, Mom is not going to be okay for a while. That man you just saw, I will give you an explanation. Just not now. Now, please. We need to get out of here. Mom will be safe here, okay? As the two would leave. Now, back over at their actual house, not the apartment Inko and Deku have been living in. Deku, he is back in his old room, as it's been a minute. He's trying to think about things as All Might would give Deku an explanation. All for one, one for all, and everything possible. As the next day, Deku, he would try training with his father. The training being very, very brutal. Deku goes up to Kaioken times 7 and uses it against All Might, as All Might would have knocked Deku to the ground and knocked him away, telling him to get back up and to try again. These two doing this training over and over again. Deku pulling muscles and actually having some burst, as he would get them sewn back together and sewn up, letting them heal for a little minutes and having to use his other arm to make up for the lack of skill in combat. Anytime he's injured, he has to work around the injury, and All Might is pushing him a bit too much. Now then, eventually, we would arrive at the hospital, where Deku leaves, as he has been able to go up to Kaioken times 10 and 15. 15 being something that he's still trying to figure out. That's whenever he tries to use one for all, or at least knows about it or feels it in his body. His dad's been trying to get him to use it, but he's not going to use his power. He's never going to use that man's power, ever. As Deku would arrive home. All Might's not home, so he decides to go to sleep, taking some sleeping pills and finally getting some rest. Waking up the next day and repeating the process. As Deku goes to school, he doesn't even smile anymore. people seem to be or know what's going on with him. He doesn't really have a reason to, so people leave him alone. But, well, he's trying to formulate a plan. He's going to become a hero not to make his father proud of him or do anything like that, but he's trying to do it to spite him. Showing him that even though he's trying to train him to use his quirk and, well, be a successor, he understands that. But just because he has that power doesn't mean he's going to use it. Now then, that is going to be where I leave this part off, guys. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part. I have to go to work, so that's going to be fun.